Hello and good afternoon, or good morning in my case, or if you're in the U of K or joining us on the replay, good evening, nice to see you. It is the John Lavenia Success Mastermind for your Wednesday, April 13th. I'm your host for today, Glen Henderson. It's good to see you. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way right quick. What do you say? Because we've got a bunch of things going on, including the triumphant return of our good friend Stuart Wilde, hosting Great Calls. Good to see my man back in the saddle. So what's happening? Today, it's the general session, where you are now, the hospitality suite right after us. This afternoon at 3:15 Eastern time, which I believe is 8:15 U of K time, we got Books for Britain with our friend Mandy Anderson. I think The Pillars of Success, The Pillars of Success is a book that we're working on now. Nice to see you, Kat. Or should I say nice to, quote, see you, unquote. The camera's off. I know. You're listening in from work, as is our friend Daisy. Always good to have you here. The money mama. Lindsay never misses a beat, nor messes her hair. I've never seen Lindsay with a hair out of place. Have you? I just don't get it. Some people just got it like that. And Linda Lange, who was the first one on and who asked me, how am I doing? And there's a big event coming up with one of the businesses, one of the companies that I participate with. And Linda, and it just so happens that this company hosts an annual company-wide talent show. Hey, Edward, good to see you. Company-wide talent show. Linda asked me, so you're going to be up there doing your thing? That is a decision for the mandarins of the talent competition. Apparently my hat has been thrown into the ring, and we shall see. So the decision is out of my hands. I guess we'll find out. I'll let you know. But it's been a really interesting sort of whirlwind of a day, of a couple of days, of a week, as you might have guessed from my attire. We are just returned, Paula and I, from a big time event in the Windy City of Chicago. Just got back from a Star Trek convention, Mission Chicago 2022. Had ourselves a blast. And we better be on our best behavior now, because the principal just walked in. Hey, John, nice to see you. The Godzilla himself is with us. Always good to see you, my friend. Hey, I've got an idea. I was putting this together earlier. Yes. And I wanted you to see some of our fun. Is that all right with you? We had ourselves a great time in Chicago. And so I am going to, drop a couple of pictures on you. So one of the things that we like to do when we go to these Trek conventions is, well, the main thing that we like to do is meet people, meet other attendees. We've had some really great, really interesting conversations. You may remember that we went last year and met some really cool people, including a number of Trek celebrities. And similar thing happened this time. So we got everybody, every one of them who had not already done so, received a copy of my book, signed specially for them. And then the other thing that Paula and I did was we took one copy of my book around and asked all of the celebrities, all of the actors to sign my book. Let me see if I have it here. Yes, I do. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. This is the boring part where your grandparents pull out the vacation pictures, right? So just prepare yourself. It won't take that long, and it won't even be painful or anything. Watch this. Check it out. Walter Koenig, the very famous Commander Pavel Chekhov himself. How cool is this? And yes, he did sign my book, which was very kind of him. Moving along to, you've seen Star Trek Voyager? the redoubtable Captain Catherine Janeway, otherwise known as Kate Mulgrew. Wonderful artist, very classy lady. What a great conversation we had with her. Yes, she did sign. And I also have an autographed copy of her book called, you like this? Born with Teeth. I'm already looking forward to getting into it. It's like a fun title already. Now, you'd have to be a deep in the weeds Star Trek fan, like nut, like complete raving Trek lunatic to know who this lovely lady is. I, of course, am a deep in the woods raving, foaming at the mouth Trek lunatic. So I recognized immediately Admiral Nechayev. Who the heck is Admiral Nechayev? Well, this lovely woman's name is Natalia Nogulich. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady. And we had matter of fact, Paula and I met her over dinner at the hotel where we were staying. There at the McCormick Place, it was a Hyatt or something, at the hotel there in Chicago. And we're sitting there, and Paula and I sitting, having dinner, and we look across to the next table, and I said, honey, that's Natalia Nogulich. She says, Natalia Nogulich? Incredible. Who's Natalia Nogulich? Yeah. And I explained to her that Natalia Nogulich is a wonderful actress who played the part of one Admiral Nechayev on a number of episodes of Star Trek, The Next Generation. We have her autograph, and we had some lovely, really wonderful conversations, chat. We've opened a connection. We think we've created a new connection with Ms. Nogulich, and we shall be back in touch. Again, if you've seen Star Trek Deep Space Nine, then you immediately recognize Dr. Julian Bashir, otherwise known as Alexander Siddig. Lovely British man. It's interesting to me going to an event like this. This is the second Star Trek convention we've been to now, and virtually all of the actors and celebrities are really wonderful to the fans and the people who attend and come in for autographs and so forth. Alexander Siddig and Paula hit it off right away, both being Brits, and just dropping a hint, it's entirely possible that one or more of the people whose pictures you are now seeing may be appearing on a certain television show, which airs on Friday afternoons from the Department of I'm Just Saying. Now, Dr. Bashir and Colonel Kira Nerys from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Nana Visitor. Interesting thing. You see how how the size goes? I'm about to give away a trade secret. Nana was wearing enormous high heels at this point. She's actually quite small. And oh my goodness, what a pistol she is. Really, really powerful lady. We had a great chat, had really got a chance to interact and meet with her. And we actually met up with her in the airport bar as we're getting ready to leave. Yeah, we're sitting there having lunch, and guess who comes and sits down the end of the bar and orders a glass of wine? Nana. So I bucked up my courage, as my Brit friends would say. I screwed my courage to the sticking place. You see what I did there, Edward? And I walked up and introduced to myself. Cool, she recognized us right away. Just, nice chatting with you. Wish you safe travels and so forth, and we'll be in touch there. Will Wheaton. Now, there's a story behind Will Wheaton, Wesley Crusher, Star Trek The Next Generation. There's a story behind this. He got so excited when we introduced ourselves and showed him the book, because as you know, chapter 6 is all about Wesley Crusher. He got so fired up, and he was really cheering up and down. And he says, what? This is such great timing, such interesting timing. You're saying, you're giving me this now. He says, because I've always wondered, for years now, I've been wondering, why isn't there a book about Star Trek and leadership? He says, I've been looking for a book on Star Trek. Well, I said, Will, look no more. Great, great guy. Now, the reason we're wearing masks is because Will, wonderful guy, very cheerful. He shared from the stage some personal issues that he'd been dealing with concerning, and I don't think I'm telling tales out of school because he has shared this now in public, He told some very personal stories from his own life and upbringing concerning childhood abuse and some PTSD issues and things of this nature, personal security issues. And so he felt more comfortable asking everyone to wear a mask. For this occasion, we were willing to do that for Will. But what a wonderful guy, really cool. And did you know that right now, Will Wheaton is about 10 years older than Sir Patrick Stewart was at the time Sir Patrick Stewart took the job as Captain Picard. Oh my God, I don't feel old at all, do you? No. Deep Space Nine cast. All the way on the left is the lovely Chase Masterson, who played a prominent role on Deep Space Nine, and she's such a wonderful lady. She's definitely coming on the show, as a matter of fact, because she participates in a number of charitable organizations, several of which are based in Houston. So we'll be chatting with Chase on the show for sure. Isn't that a nice picture? Don't we look great in our uniforms? You can applaud now if you like. James Cromwell, if you saw Star Trek First Contact, he appeared in only a couple of episodes of Trek and in film, Star Trek First Contact, as Dr. Zephram Cochrane. What a funny dude. Really, really cool man, Mr. Cromwell. I think he's in his 80s now, something like that. Really nice, very nice casual conversation. Kate Mulgrew, again, in our sort of photo ops deal. And yes, we did. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Coming up right after Michelle Hurd from Star Trek Picard, who was wearing the coolest shoes in the building. Paula noticed. Holy moly, what been such a lovely lady. Really, really nice, friendly. And I think TV show, maybe, who knows? Well, she's still shooting Picard, so schedules, right? But we shall see. And of course, the man himself, Mr. William Shatner, who, by the way, I would put him in the top 10 list of funniest people I have ever heard speak on stage. The man, freaking hilarious, absolutely amazeballs, amazing gentleman. Did you know William Shatner was bouncing around the stage and just went up into space, and he's doing all kind of stuff and TV shows, this, that, and the other? Did you know that William Shatner is 91 years old? Holy moly. See, one of my life goals, have half as much energy at 71 as William Shatner has at 91. So there you are. That was a big part of our week. Another big part of our week is the fact that, oh boy, you'll appreciate this, John. We are selling pits. The barbecue smoker pit company, we've got people reaching out to us left and right. Man, how can we get one of your pits? What does it cost? Never mind. I don't care what it costs. I want one. Remember we talked about that, John? It sometimes is the lower price stuff. There's a reason why the lower price stuff is lower price. Not a lot of people have been asking us about the price of our pits. They just want them because they see what we're doing on social media. Our one of our partners, who also is our mad scientist of the steel and the master welder and all of that, master fabricator. He does Instagram videos and stuff all the time, and we're approaching boatloads of followers and everything else. Hey, Lindsay, safety first, eyes on the road. Nice to see you. So people are coming to us. We're not having to cut our prices. Note to self, we're not having to cut our prices in order to make sales. So if your product, your service, your opportunity is good enough and of sufficient value, people generally won't argue with you too much on price. That one I just threw in for free. So that's going on. And what else is happening? The TV show's going great. And on a very, very personal note, there's a young lady who I've been coaching in terms of business coaching and mentorship for a couple of years now. She came across me in another business networking group that I'm a part of. And she asked me for my advice on a particular business situation at that time. And I shared my opinion, make of it as you will. But she, kept reaching out, and we've been communicating over the years. I've helped her get some things done business-wise. And, oh, wait, hold that thought. I got to show you. Yeah, great shirt, right? No, there's something else I need to show you. Don't go anywhere. One of our great, terrific purchases at the Star Trek convention. We are really going to enjoy this. We're saving it for a very special occasion. One of the exhibitor booths at the convention was selling these, and we decided it was time. And so we ordered, among others, a bottle of, you see that? Chateau Picard. There actually is a vineyard in France that makes these. It's phenomenal. Here's a quote. They say a vintner's history is in every glass. The soil he came from, his past, hopes for the future. So, to the future. Quote from Captain Jean-Luc Picard himself. So anyway, my friend, been coaching and helped to get some things done. And she really appreciates, I think she has really appreciated the help that I've given her. By the way, if you hear any noise in the background, buzzing or power tools, we're having one of our bathrooms remodeled, so apologies in advance. Got a call from her yesterday. She and her husband have lots of kids. I think they've got 8 now. They want lots more. So they're expecting their 9th child. Wonderful news, right? Now, how much would you pay? But wait, there's more. Wonderful news. 9th baby they're expecting. Went to the doctor yesterday. Found out they're having a boy. And she was calling, my friend was calling to tell me, to inform me that they have decided to name their new son after yours truly. How crazy is that? I was shocked. Certainly wouldn't expect anything like that. I was helping her out all this time because it's how I roll, It's who I am. I help people. But she and her husband have decided this. I mean, there was no, as a matter of fact, she told me that when they found out it was a boy, she said to her husband, she says, well, what do you think about names? He says, well, I don't know. What do you think? She says, would it be okay if we named him Glenn? Husband said, I thought you'd never ask. I was absolutely filled with emotion, as you can imagine. It's a great honor. I don't know where it came from. I honestly don't know where it came from. I guess they really appreciate my help or something. But see, the problem is now I got to live up to this reputation of a guy's about to have a baby named after him. So we'll see how that works out. Anyway, it put me in mind of something. I called a very dear friend of mine, our realtor, as it turns out, who, I may get her at some point. How would this be? What do you think? Give me a hand up. Give me a 1 if in the chat if you think this is a good idea. I'm thinking about, she is a powerhouse, this lady. She is a realtor, not just some associate real estate agent. She owns her own real estate brokerage, multi-million-dollar real estate brokerage. She's a powerhouse realtor. She's also did I mention she's also an attorney, licensed at the bar in the state of Texas. Holy schlamoli. Lady's a freaking powerhouse. She's a networker extraordinaire. Anytime somebody needs a job, a rehab in the house, need to buy a house, sell a house, do this, need a plumber, need an electrician, her favorite phrase in the world? I got a guy. So I'm thinking, this idea just occurred to me right now. I'm thinking, I'm going to have her on the show here in the general session. As it's like a guest. That's my personal guest. And we'll just have a chat, the two of us, and you'll get to listen in. How does that sound? Does that sound like a plan? You down with that? Cool. We're doing it. Anyway, she said something when I told her the news about the baby and everything. She says, Glenn, she says, I think you ought to write another book. What? Well, yeah, I am writing another book. It's the second in the, after. She says, no. She says, I know you're doing that, but no, this is another book. She says, you ought to write a book about all the blessings you've had in your life. She says, you're really a blessed guy, a really very blessed guy. I thought about that for a second. She said that, and I thought, well, I guess in the sort of generic kind of macro, cosmic sense, yes, I am blessed. I wake up every morning, I have my health, and I get to be vertical most days. And family who loves me and so forth. And then I thought, there have been a lot of times, and yes, I have had, as we have all had, wonderful things occur for us in our lives. Some of those wonderful things we actually worked for and achieved, which, pat on the back to us, high five us. Other things that have occurred in our lives have occurred under the category of what I would call grace. One casual definition I have heard of the word grace is undeserved favor. Hold on one second. Sir.
This,
As I said, we've got a workman here, a gentleman here we'll be having. I may need to knock off a little early, or perhaps I'll just take a minute in just a moment. I'll take a minute and go, Chad, you just have a quick question for me and you'll talk amongst yourselves. Can I trust you? Can I leave you with that? Anyway, blessings. Yes, some things that have occurred in my life occur as examples of grace, undeserved favor, good things that come my way for which I can't figure out what I did to deserve this. Like just a couple naming their baby after me. Really? Yes, I've helped people and I've helped other people before, inside and outside of the mastermind and all of that. But for somebody to name a human being, that's huge. And so what my friend is talking about is, Glenn, you ought to write a book about all the blessings you've had in your life. Surprises or something. Surprise blessings, maybe I'll call it, or something like that. And there's another aspect to this, which I'll get to in just a moment. If you don't mind, I'm going to be gone for probably about 90 seconds. I need to have a chat with the gentleman here in our bathroom. I promise, cross my heart. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Yes, sir. Hang on. I'm coming. Don't go away. I'm coming back. I'm right there. Don't leave. Don't leave. Whew. I'm back. He wanted to know the height at which I wanted the soap shelves installed in the corners of the shower. Done. So I guess what I'm going to need to do is finish filling up my wins jar. So nice to see you, Lindsay. Catch the replay, and you and I shall catch up soon. All right. So that's the idea for every one of us. We've talked about this before, I think. If someone asked you to write a book or a letter to the editor of your favorite newspaper, your local newspaper website, or some such, a blog post, if someone were to ask you to write a blog post in which you list the various blessings, the various good circumstances, pleasing events that have occurred in your life, often through none of your own doing, could you do it? How thick would your book be? How many words would you be able to fit into a blog post? I submit to us that you could probably write about 4 times as much as you think you can. Because run down the list. Your health, your family, your career, your job, roof over your head, food in your fridge, car in your driveway, or reliable transportation of some sort. Your business. Okay, yes, I know you're not making $1 million yet. Do you know that 99% of the people on the face of this earth will never have the opportunity to build a business that you currently have? I call that a blessing. And it is a blessing in some ways bestowed entirely by an accident of birth. You happened to be born who and where and under what circumstances you were born. I know for a fact that's the case with me and with my friends, Mr. Lavinia, Ms. Martin, Ms. Fabregas, Ms. Landry. You see where I'm going with that? Anyway, let's make that a priority this week. What do you say? Write down, maybe you've been doing this already. I'm saying, let us redouble our efforts to constantly be aware of the fact that yes, we work hard to bring pleasing results, improved stats, increased wealth, increased good circumstances in our own lives, and good stuff just happens to us. And that is fantastic. As you can imagine, as I said, I was absolutely filled with emotion when my friend told me this thing about her and her husband's decision. I'll tell you, I'm going to be dining out on that for the next couple of years. Find a couple of things that you can dine out on for the next couple of years. Things that have happened for you. Oh, and by the way, the other aspect of this, I was going to say before I ran upstairs to discuss the height of the soap dishes. As soon as my friend suggested this book, one of the things that occurred to me was all the circumstances that I've experienced in my life over the past few years, which at least at the time, I did not consider to be anything like blessings. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, when that happened, that was a blessing? That messed up thing that happened? As a matter of fact, that messed up thing that happened in my life, as it turned out, formed the building block of an even greater blessing. And that's a story for another day. But even the things that occur in our lives that don't look or feel all that pleasant at the time, don't look or feel all that pleasing or positive. Pleasant, pleasing, positive. That was totally accidental. Almost always turn out to be the building blocks of a greater blessing. A greater lesson learned that we can then apply later to work a little harder, work a little smarter, and build another blessing for ourselves and our family. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with that? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Your list of blessings. And gratitude, as we know, and as we have heard from many moons ago from our friend Mr. Wattles, an attitude of gratitude, a mental state of gratitude is probably the number one thing that will attract even more blessings to us into our lives. I like thinking about this stuff, don't you? Because I get a big kick out of being a really positive, optimistic person and helping other people to become the same. So fill up the wins jar this week and come back and let's talk about it. By the way, today is Wealth Wednesday. Don't forget. A random act of kindness for a complete stranger involving a financial exchange. Why don't you head on through the coffee shop and pay for the person behind you, or leave your change for the person behind you. Through the drive-through, the toll booth, pay for the person behind you. Go for it. Why not? What do you got to lose? It's a couple of bucks. So what? Make you feel so much better. Might even brighten their day. What do you think? What is on your mind? I know we've got some pretty blessed people in here right now. Oh my goodness. It's the professor himself. It is the professor himself has graced us with his Adrian, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. So we were just talking about blessings. Holy moly. Wow. Unexpected good in our lives.
That includes the blessing of your presence, I'm sure.
My man.
We always feel it. We always feel it radiating at us from the screen. Absolutely.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much, Adrian. I appreciate that. The wire transfer should be arriving in a couple of hours. Yes, and I tell you, one of the great blessings of my life, y'all are tired of hearing me say this. One of the great blessings of my entire life was the privilege of having met Mr. John Lavenia some few years ago. What a difference it has made in my life, in my wife's life, and in my dealings and interactions with the world, that all of us get to learn from this man on a daily and weekly basis. Thanks again, John. So the assignment for the week, Adrian, we are filling up our wins jar the rest of the way. And the question of the week, if somebody asked you to write a book or a blog post or whatever, an article in your local newspaper. Do they still print newspaper? They still have newspapers? Yeah. If somebody were to ask you to write a blog post listing the blessings, all the blessings in your life, things that, yes, some of them that you've worked for yourself, some of them that have come to you quite unexpectedly, how long would your blog post be? How many pages would it take to fit all your blessings into a book? Something to think about. Probably more, certainly, absolutely, way more than we think. And it's a good way to go about life. Because as we know, like we said, from our friend Mr. Wattles and all over the place, and as he says in the old book, thankfulness, gratitude opens the windows of the universe and brings even more blessings our way. So do it. Don't fight it. Don't poo-poo it, because as you know, well, resistance is, oh, well, you know. My friends, it's a pleasure. Thank you all so much for spending a few minutes dropping in. And Adrian, Edward, Daisy Cat, Linda, Reverend Godzilla, all of you watching on the replay or on the social interwebs, thanks so much for taking a few minutes. As we all remember, the hospitality suite right after us, and 3:15 Eastern time this afternoon, Mandy Anderson comes our way with Books for Britain. And we shall see you tomorrow morning in the general session, next Wednesday with yours truly. And make it a fabulous day. I know my day is already pretty fabulous. See you all very, very soon. Bye for now.